guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel, Makes Movies. If you are new to this channel, this is basically where I talk to you guys about my passion for movies. This goes from collections, hauls, reviews, and to today's video, so let's get into it. Okay, so we are back with another original versus remake, and not gonna lie, I really struggled to think of what film I wanted to do this week for the series. And then I found Footloose. Yes, I love my dance movies, and they're both films I have never seen before, and I thought it'd be nice to go into an original versus remake where I've not seen either film before. So with Footloose, we are looking at the 80s classic versus the 2011 remake. So yeah, so with the original versus with the original versus remake series, I get you guys involved in this because I like having you guys get involved in videos where I can. And this is one where I can put a poll out and you guys can let me know which one you prefer, I can't talk today, before I get into my thoughts on both films. So for this one, you guys voted for the original, overwhelmingly. But there was a few that went for the remake. But now the big question is, which one do I prefer, the original or the remake? Both first time watches, so let's get into it by talking about the original. Okay, so plot-wise, basically the simple basic plot summary is that this new kid has moved into town. However, this town has made dancing illegal, drinking illegal, partying illegal, like anything that could seem bad in any way has been made illegal, especially dance. This is all because of an incident that happened 5 years ago, and it's now caused the preacher and everyone in the town to be like, oh god, dancing is a bad thing. Then you get this new guy come in, thinking he's all this, and he basically tries to get dance to become a thing again. So this film stars Kevin Bacon, but not only Kevin Bacon, but also Sarah Jessica Parker, and I can't remember his name now. The guy from the Third Rock from the Sun, I can never remember his name. So I didn't realise going into this film that there was more than one actor that I knew from other things. So that was quite nice to see some other actors that I knew. Obviously I knew Kevin Bacon because he's one of the big actors. I mean, I saw him in Friday the 13th, I saw him in R.I.P.D. So it was nice to see him in this dance flick. And this is another reason why I chose these films, is because I love dance movies. Step Up films, Honey, Save the Last Dance, anything to do with dance I do enjoy, because at one point growing up I wanted to be a dancer. So I found it quite cool to watch a film where it's like they've made it so you can't dance in a town, and I couldn't imagine not doing that. Like, even though I'm a terrible dancer, I still like to dance around the house. So to think that music's banned, that dancing's banned and things like that, I think that was a fun plot to look into. It does sort of rely on the religious bit a little bit, so if you're not that much into religion, or you feel like you can't watch any films with religion in it, this is probably one I wouldn't recommend. Although it doesn't fully focus on it, it is still part of it. So it's one of those films that if you enjoy dance, you'll enjoy it. If you're a non-religious person and you're sort of like not a massive fan of it in any way, probably not the one for you. But I enjoyed this film more than I thought I was going to. I liked the soundtrack in this as well. I did not realise that the main song, Footloose, was not actually in the big famous scene that we get. It's a completely different song. I did not know that. I loved all the characters in this, not just Kevin Bacon's character, the friends, the enemies, the preacher. Like, I loved all the characters in this. I think they were entertaining in their own way and different and enjoyable. But I will be honest, it's not my favourite dance flick. Now, like I said, for me, Step Up is one of my favourites. So when I look back at it, when I was watching this film, I was thinking, does this have the same rewatch value as Step Up does for me? Unfortunately, it doesn't, but it does go pretty close to it. So it's sort of like one of those films that I probably would put on again if it was on a streaming service. Probably put it on in the background, or if I was staying over someone's and I wanted to chill and relax, then Footloose would be one of them. But like I said, I did have a good time with it. I love the dancing in this, and I will say the Footloose song playing like 3 times. Did not expect that. But overall, Footloose the original, I can see why it's an 80s classic. I can see why people enjoyed it. Say it's just fun, entertaining, and say the soundtrack is catchy. So you are, dancing away. You can't help but get Footloose. I mean, even the opening credits, like, it's just literally just shots of feet and it's just dancing to Footloose. Love it. So overall, the original is a very good film. But the question is the remake any good or not? Okay, so with the remake, obviously it's a whole new cast. I'm going to be completely honest, there's only a couple of actors I recognised in this film. The one that plays Ariel, our main female lead, I've seen her in Rock of Ages, and I've seen her mum and dad in other things as well. So Dennis Quaid plays her dad, the preacher. So I've not seen many films with anyone else in this film. So this one, I will say I feel a little bit less connected to because I barely know those actors compared to the ones that I'd seen in the original. Now, one of my big things with remakes is that it doesn't copy and paste the original. My main issue with this is that most of the lines are still from the original film. Now, I know a remake does tend to revisit some lines, especially the more famous lines, the quotable ones, things like that. But there was a lot of speeches and a lot of sort of like conversations that were pretty much copy and paste from the original, because I could tell, obviously, after just watching the original. So that is one of my only gripes with this film. I will say as well, sometimes it does copy and paste a scene as well, but it puts twists on it. So they change things up a little bit. Not a lot, a little bit. So I will say for a remake, it's not terrible. I did actually enjoy watching this one. So like I said, I like the fact they did some things a little bit different, like the opening scene. With this film, they actually show the incident that happened, whereas in the original, they didn't show that in the beginning, so it's sort of like you hear what people are saying and you go with it, whereas this one, they actually showed what's happening. I like the fact that they changed some of the things up, like Ren, who's our main guy, he's then like saying about how his mum is not there with him this time. So there's little changes that they have done, which is really nice. I like it when a film does that. When it copy and pastes, that just, I don't enjoy it as much. And like I said, when they don't do anything new, it frustrates me. So like at least with one of the scenes, they sort of nodded to the original in a sense, but then they changed it up. So I like that. And I like how they changed certain things around as well. Like there's certain scenes done in different order compared to the original, which I honestly feel like some of the scenes in the remake did feel a lot better placed than what they did in the original, if you catch what I mean. It's very hard to explain. But what I will say is that the soundtrack is okay in this one, but it just doesn't feel as catchy as it does in the first movie. Whether that's because you obviously had 80s classics and then they chose more modern songs for this one, I'm not sure. But I like the fact that they changed some things up as well. And say overall, this is not a bad remake. I've seen some terrible remakes, and honestly, although this one, like I said, the only gripe I have is with the whole line delivery. It's pretty much the same lines, all that. That is the only issue I really have with it. I mean, I will say as well, Ren, the guy that's playing him, didn't do as good a job as what Kevin did. So I feel a bit more connected to Kevin's version of his character than this one. I think he did great with what he did. But to me, he was just... When I think of Ren as a character and I've seen both actors, I will always go to Kevin's character. Just because I feel like with Kevin's character, he had a bit more emotion to him. Is a weird way of explaining it, I think. I think that's how I'll explain it. But they've modernised it and I think that's done it really well, and they've made it nostalgic because obviously they did some things the same. So it's one of those things where I wish a remake wouldn't copy and paste so much, but with this one, it's sort of hit and miss with me. Like, there were certain scenes, like I said, that they changed things up, so it didn't feel like a repeat. But then at the same time, they changed the scene up, but the line delivery would still be the same. It is pretty much like I could hear it when I was watching the film. Certain scenes, when they repeated the same lines from the first film, it did feel like a repeat. So that did knock it down a little bit for me, because I really wanted to go into this thinking that they were going to do something different, especially with how they opened the film. Like I said, they'd done something different. Although I will say the first 4 minutes? Yeah, 4 minutes of the film was pretty much a repeat. But when they showed the incident and then they changed things up after that, that's when it started to feel a bit better for me. And like I said, it is not a bad remake. I would watch it again. It'd be one of those ones that if it's on streaming, I'd watch it. If I need to put something on the background, I'll watch it. But for a modern retelling of Footloose, it's not bad. It really is not bad. I mean, there's some remakes that they could have done so much better with. I think, like, I'm not going to say, because obviously my original versus remake series, I like to keep it secret, but there's certain remakes when I get to them that I will explain that I wish that they had like a good idea, but then they didn't do it so well. So that's the kind of thing I'm with my remakes, especially if it's something like where I love the original. Obviously these two were first time watches, but as an example, if it's an original that I love, I want the remake to be kind of different in a way, but nod to the original in some way. One of those I'll do a reference to later on in another video. But overall, I would watch this again. I did enjoy it. I had a good time with it. Miles Teller was in this. He's one of the bigger actors I know from this film. Miles Teller and Dennis Quaid. They were the only two that I fully recognised. And then, like I said, the one that plays Ariel, I've seen her in Rock of Ages. So it's one of those things that I think that the people that they cast for the remake were good. But it's just the line delivery. That's the only thing that bugged me. So yeah, overall, which one do I prefer? The original or the remake? I'm going to side with you guys on this one, and I'm going to go for the original for now. Who knows, maybe when I watch the remake again at some point, it might grow on me if I can get past the whole line delivery thing. But if not, I still enjoy this remake, and I still have a good time with it. So I definitely will go for the original for this time round. And it was a fun first time watch to watch these two. It was nice. I needed a dance film after the day I had today, because as you can tell by the lighting, I am filming this at night. So it's a rather late one. So apologies that the video is up late, but at least I still got it done. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and also notification bell down below to be notified when I post. And also leave me your comments and thoughts on Footloose, both the original and the remake. Which one do you prefer and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next time.